Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story.
How are you?
Oh, unbelievable, as always.
That's good.
I know.
That's very good.
I always say to everybody, you wouldn't want to hear the other side anyway. So
nobody gives a shit anyway.
No, that's not true. That's not true. We know you well enough now. So if there are moments that sometimes you get people and you're like, I don't want to hear it because it'll be terrible, right? But then there's some people, like we like you. We so if it was terrible, we want to hear about it.
You know what?
Book your own times practically. What do you want?
That's true. That's a good point.
Jesus.
You know what? In reality, in every challenge or pile of something, there's always an opportunity hidden in there somewhere. So you just got to,
exactly.
Sometimes you just got to dig a little farther and peel back a few more layers before you find it.
Yeah.
All good in the hood, buddy boy. All good in the hood.
Yeah. Nice. Awesome. Love to hear it. No, it's fun. 2025, new start, symbolic. I'm not a resolutions guy. I don't know if you guys are resolutions people, but I'm more of a, why wait until the new year? If you can do it today. And if that's March 14th, then do it on March 14th.
I'm more the guy, I'll forget if I don't do it. So
exactly.
I just get her done.
Yep.
Get her done. The more I talk about it, the less I'm definitely going to remember.
Well, I think the only thing I appreciate maybe with the new year, because you do get time, like the New Year's is like forced time off almost, right? Because that period between Christmas and New Year's, whether you want to take time off or not, enough people are off that things slow down, that you get a chance to inflect on, whatever I planned on doing, did it go the way I wanted it to, right? So I don't actually care because I'm not that guy. Like, so January 1st, I don't, I'm going to go do like fucking, if you figured that out on the 27th of December, then you should have just started, right? So, but I do think it's kind of cool. I'm a big fan of like, take that period to just figure out like, did the year go the way it was that you wanted it to, right?
It is a good symbolic reflection time. There's no doubt about that, and I've leveraged that at TLC Solutions as well. So I guess who am I to say? So it's a fair comment, totally fair comment.
Yeah. Listen, for listeners, we have a longtime friend coming back. So we have Mike Nunn from TLC. He's back again. He pretty much has an open door. Every now and then I screw with his appointment times, but otherwise he's got an open door to come back.
This one moved a bit.
We love,
honored and blessed. Thank you guys.
This one shuffled a few times, I think.
Hey, I'm all
Mike, before Christmas, man. Don't worry about what can get you an easy.
I'm all about bobbing and weaving and filling in gaps. You guys need somebody, I'm your guy. I will help. I will support 100%. Anytime I can chat with Phil and Kenny, I'm in.
Listen, we like it too, because I usually leave and then I, because it's me, I usually leave and think, okay, shit, what do I got to fix? I got to fix something I haven't got security up somewhere. I've forgotten something. I've left something wide open. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I'm not going to distract from the topic because I know we want to talk about a couple of things, but I got to tell you last time after we talked about passwords, Kenny
I don't talk about ever again.
Hours and hours.
I wrote, you know what? I got him on a
He actually called me after he was so anxious, and then the next day he was anxious. It was actually kind of amusing. So
no, it's not amusing. It's not amusing at all.
The best part is it doesn't have to be complicated. The key is just avoiding some common pitfalls, like not using the passwords on the most common passwords website, and some real basics like not using personal information like your name and your birth year and your password, because cyber criminals can guess that kind of stuff. There's some easy ways to make them complex and hard to break, and then you don't have to change them all the time. I was just chatting with a company the other day, and they change their passwords every 3 months, and I'm like, man, that's got to be stressful for your team to constantly have to change it and then remember it. And I'll bet they're written down on Post-it notes everywhere. They've got them on spreadsheets or somewhere. I'm like, man, you just make it a little bit more complex, but easy to remember, and you'll be fine.
Ask Phil. I change mine every 3-4 months, whether I like it or not. I can't remember them. I can't find them. I don't know where they're saved. I forgot to save this one.
I don't want to talk about that. That'll make me stressed out. So every time I get send any Kenny stuff, I'm like,
just get a good password wallet.
I did. You know what it's called? It's called an Excel sheet and print. Print. And it's upstairs and another place hidden. Print. That's it.
One password wallet.
So
one password for the password wallet, and then everything's in there. So you're good.
I won't remember these stupid passwords. And then they bug me, and then they tell me you got it wrong, and now we're locking you out. Fuck these passwords.
I actually have a funny story about that. It's awesome. It wasn't funny at the time, and you can ask Kenny. I stewed for a week. But it's funny now is I did use a password wallet, and then I changed, because you have a master password that gets you to all your passwords.
Yes.
And then I changed mine because I got a notification that, hey, we've had some vulnerability. So just change your master password. You'll be fine. Sure. So I have a process for that. I do that. Great. So I go in there, the next time I go in there, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Right. And I'm like, but all my passwords are in this, I just had to get the one password right. That's all I had to do was get the one. Yeah. And then when I reached out the password, in true secure fashion, they said to me, we can't recover your passwords because it's true encrypted, right? So if you don't have the password, we can reset the whole thing and wipe the whole thing out. And you start again. And I kind of went like blind in one eye because I was like, what are you? Oh my God. Well, so for about a week, I was like, fucking
what are the variants that it could have been? What could I have possibly?
So you know what you do, Mike? You know what you do? Your partner, you know what he does? Excel sheet, print. Unless someone finds it or the house burns down.
I'm not talking about where I store them now, but I did store that. I found an alternate solution that I think is pretty secure.
Take that printed paper, Kenny, and put it in a safe. Just do that for me.
100%.
Except he's
I got in multiple spots where I'll probably forget where I put them.
Somebody's gonna break into your house and go, "Oh my God, jackpot! Look at this."
Yeah, it'll be. You know what it'll be, but it'll be in like 35 years. I'll be long gone. They'll be thinking, "What the fuck are these passwords for?"
And you change your passwords every 3-4 months, so it'll be out of
no choice because I can't remember. I won't remember where I put the sheet.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny stuff.
And I'm sure you didn't want to talk about passwords. I don't want to talk about passwords.
Hey, you know what? If we can make light, and here's one of the fun parts I always try to do is if you can make light or fun or just less complex of IT topics, hey, win, right? I mean, that's
win.
That's the biggest thing, or one of the biggest things I think our industry faces is taking some complex topics that most people don't understand, or even myself, well enough to know how to do it properly in some very technical instances.
Yeah.
How do you take those things? And that's always my challenge, especially in opportunities like this, and just make it fun, make it relatable, make it easy for people to understand.
Well, and just dumb it down, like in all honesty, just dumb it down, because I think what happens is I can use tech, and I'm not adverse to using it, but if it starts getting complicated and I have to read or I have to start YouTubing shit, I'm thinking fuck, I don't want to do this. I don't want to. Just tell me how to do it the easiest way possible and the safest way. It's all I want to know. Yeah. And I don't want to learn it.
We actually, I was having a conversation with Jenny from Grandpa Jay's. I think you guys know Grandpa Jay's, Nora and Jenny. And she had a great idea about putting a bit of an educational series or webinar or pieces of content out there designed specifically around small business. I thought, wow, that's a brilliant idea, because a lot of the time the small businesses, the onesie twosies, sub 5 team member, something like that. They maybe A, don't have the resources, or B, don't have the understanding to do a lot of the technical stuff, but still cybersecurity is, and IT and networking, if that's a thing in your small business, could be home based, not much networking needs, but how do we and how can TLC support? So that's something I've got on my to-do list. It was a great idea, I thought, because
it's a great idea. And I
there's
think it's
things that can be done, right? And they can be simple, and we can explain them easily, and we can give some guidance to small business, micro business, startups on, hey, you're starting up. You can't ignore cybersecurity. You can't. You shouldn't. Larger companies.
Yes, you're the first name for that reason. Big or small, just talk to Mike.
But
if he can't help you, he'll probably send you to someone who can. But just look up to him.
If you build that webinar, let us know. We'll send it to our list.
100%.
We'll send it to everybody, because I think that's. We do it, and we know people kind of like, they do go blind in one eye anytime you talk about anything secure, because nobody really wants to talk about it.
Yeah,
you kind of need to talk about it, right? Like,
because it sounds really, so complicated. It sounds scary,
but it's also really serious, right? Like, if you don't do it, we've covered this stuff before, like, but it's a thing, right? Like,
it's a big thing.
And even until we have that built, because we don't have that built yet, we will build it, but we don't have it built yet. But I mean, even just basics, if people want to chat on that, I mean, some simple stuff around backups. You also don't have to make that very complicated either. There's some very grassroots, I guess I'll call it, ways that you can do backup that you don't need a complicated backup solution, and antivirus. Like, there's just basic stuff that you should have that you don't want to avoid to protect your business.
Do I have to cloud everything? Can I back up? Does anybody back up on like a drive or anything anymore? Or has everything got to be on a fucking cloud that I got to pay monthly subscriptions that irritate the shit out of me? Can you answer that, Michael? Answer that now.
I'm going to answer that for you. So the ideal backup solution is you have more than one method in more than one place. So without getting overly complicated and different methodologies on how to do that, and a 3-2-1-1-0 method or whatever that might be, ultimately just have the data backed up, do it in more than one place, and have more than one method, right? So if one's saved in the cloud, if one's saved, Phil, I don't know if this will be a video podcast, I don't think so, but he just held up a couple external hard drives. Great. Have 2 external hard drives, keep one in one place, keep the other in a different place. There's, again, some basic things you can do, but no, you don't have to have a complex backup cloud solution, especially if you're a startup. If you're small, the key is just back it up and protect it. And protect it could mean exactly what Phil just showed us, right? A couple of
Phil keeps at home on his own. He doesn't share with his friend. That stuff. Okay.
I
know they're blue, so I'm gonna say, Mike, hey, can I have one of those blue things?
Last time I gave him a mic, and you know what, Mike? Lost the mic. Like, so
what am I going to do with the mic? What am I going to do with the mic? I need a thingy, that blue thing there. I don't need a stupid microphone. I need a blue thingy.
Sorry, Mike. Now you're in the house. Like,
this is gold. This is gold, Jerry.
But seriously, like, so Kenny, our podcast, all our collateral is backed up on the cloud, like in the Google Drive. And then the first drive, this one has everything else in it, right? And so, like, I copy everything in here, and then it's on the cloud as well. So I have it in 2 places. Because either one, I'll be somewhere where I don't have the drive with me and I need it because I need to produce something, or 2 is, I might accidentally delete something or whatever, right? So.
But I've done that over the years. I don't know how many, like, you can back up, I'm assuming, like mail, like Gmail and shit. Can you not?
The actual inbox?
Yeah. Can I do that? So
there's tools for that. So we have tools that we resell, but to back up the emails and the inbox, there's a different tool that you would need. So what Phil was doing is for actual files, data, right? Files, things like that.
I can clean my phone. I can wipe my phone clean again. And get all that shit off the phone. That how I clean it up now is I just go to the pictures and I delete the ones I don't think I need anymore to make up room for the room. And what do you want me to do? Okay, that's all I've got.
I hear you.
And I don't want to keep buying the cloud. I bought the sky already. I don't want more. I don't want more buying.
Oh, Lord.
I want simple, easy, cheap solutions
that Kenny, work. I introduce you to Phil. Phil, meet Kenny. Kenny, meet Phil.
Clearly,
backup solutions, basic backup solutions. Phil's on it. He's got it. He's nailed it.
He's here next week. I expect to see a bunch of blue things come over.
Just keep an eye on your Amazon. I'm ordering stuff right now. So
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Let's
But
we
great.
do, but on the same note, right? Because so one of the reasons that we were excited, and I think Mike was excited to come back, we wanted to talk about a couple of things that I think brands and companies, unless you've changed your mind, but I think the two that really popped for us was business process automation.
Yeah.
How to think about, so it sounds really lofty. I'll let Mike decode it for you, but like the one that popped out of there, and it's little, so we don't have to spend a million hours on it or anything, but like, I just thought, I got excited because I think in that process somewhere, simple things like APIs are little used, kind of tools that make life easier for businesses, right? So anyway, I thought that was one, and then I thought the other one that is worthy of mention that we wanted to do a YouTube shot on, that we will do anyway, but just congratulations for being one of the most admired corporate cultures in 2024.
Thank you.
That's a big deal.
Very cool.
Yeah. We were, and maybe that's a great place to start. So thank you for calling out, Phil. Really appreciate that. It's after 3 years. So my journey at TLC started 3 years. I just had my 3-year anniversary on January 3rd. So super excited. 3 years of rebuilding, 3 years of really building the brand, which internally is culture and externally it's a brand, but really building that out and helping TLC turn into what it can be, and from a foundational standpoint, so that it can grow into what it could be. So that sounds really weird when I say it now that comes out of my mouth, but basically ultimately fixing a lot of system and process so that the company could grow. So after 3 years of doing that, amazing team sticking with us through the changes, a lot of new team members. Candidly, we applied for this award, not even remotely thinking that we were going to win. We did it because, hey, we need some benchmark data to know where we need to do better. We're 3 years through our journey now. We're getting our employee feedback on a quarterly basis. How can we supplement that with some external data on culture so we can make better improvements and we can grow faster on that journey? Alana, my director of people and culture, she was awesome with really charging after this. And yeah, when the meeting came and they were going to give us the results, we just assumed, this is okay. This will be what we were expecting. And then the gentleman we met with, he had this massive smile on his face, and we were like, hey, wait a minute, why is he so happy about this meeting? We weren't going to be happy about this meeting. And then all of a sudden, I guess everything and what we've done from a business philosophy standpoint, and technology and culture and just wellness of the team and everything, it really resonated. So in that emerging category. Awesome. Winning that Canada's Most Admired Corporate Cultures Award. We're pumped. Awesome. We're really pumped. So we're excited about what we're doing. Yeah, it's
well, when people like to work with you, that's not a bad win. Most sales, but nobody likes you. It's good, but not as nice as the other one. It's nice to be liked and people want to be with you. That's a great feeling. That means you're doing a lot of really right shit. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a fun journey. It's been a crazy journey in many ways. We've gone through a lot. We've changed a lot. We've definitely done some withdrawals and some deposits on the emotional bank account, so to speak. And the team's pushed through. The culture's done well. It's a great team. So I'm really excited. We talked about symbolically the start of the year, right at the very beginning there. And for me, 2025, I'm so pumped about 2025 for TLC, just to capitalize on all these changes that we've made and the culture and what we have. It's a fun place to be. I'm really liking it. So
it's awesome, man. Seriously, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, congratulations.
That's a cool one. Seriously, that's just cool.
Yeah, I've long believed that culture ultimately, to me, is what drives results in any business, right? It's the people and the culture and how they feel about the business and the team and the leadership and everything that a company is doing. All of that really culminates into the culture of the business. And that is what drives results, right? I've said many times, you can hear a smile on the other end of the phone. So when our team is working with a client, and you can get a sense, okay, is that person liking their job and are they enjoying it? They're liking what they're doing. And internally, we can feel it and see it when we talk to each other as well.
I agree with you on that. I think that's totally.
Yeah, so having that great culture for me is so important because that is one of the major, if not the biggest catalyst, in my humble opinion, that will get us the results and take the company to where it needs to be, by our amazing team doing great things together, supporting each other through that awesome culture. So it's been a big focus of mine to maintain that and enhance that in the business. So yes, it was a great recognition to receive.
I would, yeah, and I don't think you should downplay it in the sense that, you know, when you talk to somebody, you know, and how do you like your job, or, you know, if I'm talking because I'm trying to buy something for you, whatever, and I feel the excitement and I feel you like it, you know, there's a lot of shit that goes right to the side. Price being typically one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You might be $5, $10 more, $100 more, $1,000 more, but if it belongs just relative to something, you're thinking, you know what, I actually really like them. I think these guys would really step up. If I, you know, what do I care at that point?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it throws out a lot of other bullshit when someone says, well, I know I could do this. I like these people.
Well, and there's the key. I think in most any business, and maybe any industry, maybe this would be a really good debate, but there's so much competition and it's on a global scale in this day and age. How else are you going to win? Because to your point, Kenny, it's probably not on price. And if you're trying to win on price, there's probably going to be somebody else that's going to come along and probably beat you on price at some point in the future. Maybe it's quality, but that's starting to be a level playing field across.
That's leveled out a lot over the years.
It really has.
Yeah.
So ultimately, to me, it's how you make that client feel. And for us, our brand is Technolojoy. We want our clients to feel Technolojoy. Now, are we perfect at it? No, we've got a lot of work to do, obviously, but we also do, in many cases, we get the feedback from our clients. We get the feedback after every single ticket that we complete for our clients. We're absolutely marching in the right direction, and it's a fun place, very big fun place to be.
That's awesome, man.
That's amazing.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, that's really cool.
Thank you. No, appreciate
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I
don't mind working with Phil either. It's not my favorite thing sometimes, but I do like him. Like, you know, I think sometimes it shows that we actually get along fairly well.
Oh,
So
no.
glad that you kind of not hate me.
Yeah,
You
maybe not
guys,
as good as working with you, Mike, but I like Phil. I like.
Hey, you guys are an awesome duo. Running into you guys at all the different events and seeing you everywhere in these chats. I mean, you're just awesome to be around. You're fun to be around, and the dynamic of the two of you. And hey, if you're hiring, let me know.
That's funny. You haven't had to seek help, so that's good. I mean, really, not bad so far, right?
So true. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, geez,
I'm going to move because we don't like compliments. We don't actually know what to do with them. So
that's why they keep
we
diverting.
appreciate you a lot. But
yeah, thank you.
You give them, but you can't take them.
But yeah, we actually can't. We don't.
No, I don't
how.
like them. No, keep moving.
Let's move to business automation. That's about the most awkward segue ever, but let's get off the.
I love awkward segues. Yeah. No, and this was a piece I was pretty excited to. Very excited to talk about because we've done a lot of development. It's the newest side of TLC Solutions, and the newest division of TLC Solutions is our software automation team. And we've been putting a ton of effort into, okay, how can we build something using, you talked about API, which application program interface. I can talk about that. But again, I see Kenny going, oh my God, what the hell?
Just say API. Don't do the other bullshit.
What did he just drop? What is that? That sounded technical.
API. I got API. It's
APIs and AI and process automation. How can we take all of this stuff and how can we make it useful for businesses? So the thing that I'm super excited about, we just finished building it in December, and it's an example of what we're doing. We call it TLC1 as the product, is the solution that we're building this all under, but automated order entry. So it is something where many businesses, if you make something, if you're a manufacturer, if you're a producer, you probably have to enter a purchase order into your system. Now that could be an ERP of some sort, or it could be an accounting system, but you're going to receive something from a customer that says, I want to order this product or these products, and here's the price, and here's the SKU number, and here's where I want you to ship it to, and here's all my details. It's on this email that I'm sending to you, and it could be in an attachment. It could be just typed into an email. So that many companies, this is their norm. It's how it starts their value stream inside their business. Is somebody enters an order, and that triggers purchasing, and it triggers scheduling, and it triggers production, but it's typically where it starts. So In most businesses, still that is done by somebody entering the order. It could be an order entry team, it could be a customer service team, but somebody is typically still in these days manually entering that order. They're opening up that PDF or that email and they're reading it, and then they're manually typing it into their ERP or whatever program that they're entering it into. So what we've done is we've taken AI, we've taken the APIs of the clients that we've already built this for. We've built attachments that could go to any ERP, and we are taking the process automation combined with the API and AI, which is what's scanning the email. I can talk about that. And it automatically enters the orders. So when that email comes in, the AI reads it, it categorizes it, and then it instantly can connect it to your ERP and go, hey, and this is what the AI is saying, trying to make it less complex. I just got an order. I wonder if this matches to the system. Hey, look, I matched it to the system. I could go ahead and enter this now. So it could either do it automatically, or what we've done in most cases is there's just a submit button. So rather than entering all that data, rather than manually typing all that data, which can lead to order entry errors, somebody enters the wrong price, somebody enters the wrong file number, the wrong quantity, they put in a wrong ship to address. I'm from the manufacturing world. That's where I spent a lot of about 20 years of the beginning of my career. And these are just common things, right? It's human error. Humans make mistakes. It is what it is. That's A-okay. This then frees up the ability for the people to deliver great customer service experiences, really get to know their clients, build those relationships, work on high value work rather than manually typing in orders. So we're pretty excited about it. We're very excited. It takes straight from email right into an ERP, and it takes all the typing down to a submit button. So
any of the major ERPs, I would assume that,
so great question. And we can attach it to any ERP. And the reason we can do that is because we have our team of in-house developers.
Yeah.
So that is the value that we can, not only can we automate the email and the AI component of scanning emails, looking at orders, we can then attach this module, this single automation to your ERP, to your system. So our word is ERP agnostic. It really doesn't matter to us because our team will come in and that's the implementation of the automation. Is just
you know what's really cool
about it.
You know how many discounts get missed from human error from either the person who's ordering, could be but do retail, the store orders, it doesn't remember that there's a sale this month. Goes to the rep forgets to put in the sale. Like the system always knows there's a sale in there. The system, if the AI would go in and just, the system has it on deal, but the system doesn't know. You got to be the one telling it. And how many people, to your point, miss those things, wrong addresses perpetually. And then you got to tell the rep, you can't just ship, because if you ship to the wrong address, in theory, you've broken this contract. If they really didn't want to pay for it because it wasn't supposed to go to this place, they don't have to pay for it. Just understand the whole concept. You can't do shit like this.
Big time. And when you think about, and again, I
got 20 examples from last week, Phil. That's why you're laughing. Seriously.
Exactly.
Come on, guys. Take a breath.
Trying not to poke that.
Slow down.
Yeah. Well, and I think about it from my experience back in the manufacturing days, the time that then has to go into when that order entry mistake happens, it could be as simple as a credit and a rebill because the price was entered wrong. Not many companies have ever looked at, well, what's the fully burdened cost to produce a new invoice or to produce a new purchase order or something. It's not small. In many cases, you're talking
$100 depending on who you are, kind of
minimum.
thing.
Minimum.
I know, but people don't get that.
Exactly. So when you look
man
at
hours or people hours we waste fixing shit that wasn't that complicated in the first, and it's not, I'm mad at anybody. It happens.
Bingo.
It does. It's so easy to make mistakes.
Yeah. So the piece that I always follow this up with, because a lot of the times when I bring up this topic is, well, that means you're going to eliminate all these jobs in customer service and people are going to be out of work. And I say, no. Not at all. That's not what I'm advocating. That's not what we're saying by putting automations into your business. It's taking away just the repetitive mundane of typing an order into a system. Now, how much capacity does that create for your business to now grow and or create better customer experiences, better relationships, to then go back to what we talked about earlier? If that's the thing that's going to allow businesses to compete and have a competitive advantage, because price is more of a level playing field now than it has been ever. Same with quality. So if you are now enabled to create amazing customer service experiences because that team can now spend 5-10 minutes on the phone with a client, like, okay, what's your order? When do you want it shipped? And what's the price? Yeah, okay, it's a file. Great, thanks, got your order. I'll send you an order confirmation. Now you can spend more time and say, how's your day going? Right? Yeah. Oh, I remember the last time you placed an order, you said you were going on vacation to wherever you were going. Yeah. How'd that go? What was that like? Like, maybe they're silly examples, I don't know, but ultimately being able to create better customer service experiences and or simply just now you have capacity, right? If entering an order can happen like that versus 5 minutes or 10 minutes, how many more orders can you enter now as a business? How much bigger can you grow without having to exponentially just continue to add more people to get it done? Right now, the automation, it's going to get it right. You're going to have way less errors. You're not doing as much rework. You're not doing as much crediting and rebilling. You're not doing much reshipping because you sent it to the wrong address. Like all of these things start to go away. And now you can have more time to just focus on producing the product, doing it right the first time, growing the business, and really leveraging your business as a competitive advantage from businesses that maybe haven't adopted this technology yet. And it's not complex technology to adopt either. It's getting easier and easier, and we see ROI of weeks and months, right? And when I was in the manufacturing game, you'd look at ROI on a piece of equipment in potentially multiples of years. And if you could get a return in a year or two, that's great. Well, now you can get return on a tech, on an automation investment within weeks or months. Like that, to me, is a no-brainer.
That's huge.
Yeah, I think
that's huge.
I think being able to, because the other thing is like, you think of the other side. So that argument about like, how many jobs are you taking away? I like to think of the other way is, how many jobs can you put brains back into, right? Because,
yes,
having done those jobs before, the errors happen. Sometimes they happen because, you get bad information in, those sort of, but a lot of times it's attention deficit, right? Like, because I can only look at so many orders for so long before I'm starting to tune things out, right? And so, you leave repetitive tasks. Like, if we could teach AI to mop our floors, it's better, right? Like, it's better. Like, you're not, you want your brain, because maybe what you're doing now is, instead of processing line by line, you're looking at the order going, listen, you're missing the boat on this, right? Like, so you ordered 4 of these, but if you're ordering 4 of these, you need 4 of those, right? Because we don't build businesses that are like, you should only buy one thing, right? Like, everybody builds businesses that are symbiotic, right? So at some point you go to customers and go, you should buy 4 of these and 4 of other things.
Yeah.
But I can't do that if all I'm worried about is details, right? So,
and the team will always be needed for exceptions, for new things, right? There's things as well that AI in its current form can't do or it's not good at, right? It can't handle new problems, right? Because AI is technically all based on past data. So it can't
doesn't
be new.
think.
It can't be creative. Well, it can think, but how it thinks is different than how you and I think.
Exactly.
Right? It's different on that front. But you still need people to check exceptions, because AI is not going to get this is known. I hope this isn't a surprise, but AI doesn't get it right every time, right? So there's going to be moments where you're going to need a person to check it, right? Yeah. Which is why you maybe you don't fully automate the process, but taking it from manually typing every digit down to just a submit button after a person looks at it, like, and I would challenge any business to then ask themselves, how much time could that save? Right? Which is just a review and a submit, rather than I have to type everything from the 16-digit PO number to the price that's in hundreds of thousands or whatever the price is, right? So thinking about it in that way, just from a capacity growth. And then, hey, if you can enter more orders, you can grow the business, which means you can hire more production people or other team members in other parts of the business. So you're actually, anyways, there's There's lots of
There's
positive.
tons of stuff, and they got to get away from the customer service aspect. Customer service isn't supposed to fix up mistakes that we've made. That's not customer service. That's customer repairing. Customer service to get ahead and do things for the customer. Hey, I noticed the order came through. I just took a look at it. Do you realize, to Phil's point, that we have ABC on sale this month? Really compliment this. We've had everybody orders. Just so you know, I'm running short of this one. Would you like some, or would you like to pump it up a little bit? Whatever the situation is.
Yeah. Hey, I've noticed based on your order history that when you placed orders like this, you usually place an order for this a couple of days later or a few weeks later.
You want to do it now, save the money on shipping or whatever.
Right. Bingo, things like that. And there's even variations. And one of the benefits of AI is you can train it. So the more data you feed it and the variables you feed it, the better it can do to also do what you're describing, Kenny, right? So it can adapt and it can say, hey, you normally place this after. AI can be trained. It's just data. You got to have more data to feed it, so it trains and it learns. But a lot of opportunity to just enable AI to do more or less, but still have the human element as well, which is the most important element.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, and a lot of what we're doing with our software and automation team with our TLC1 platform is revolving around how do we take AI, because there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of buzz, and AI is just exploding right now. I mean, probably by the time this airs, it's going to evolve to a point well beyond even this conversation. It's going so fast right now, which is exciting and scary in many different ways. But how do we take it to something that's applicable, something that is tangible and usable for businesses beyond Copilot or ChatGPT or some of the very cool productivity tools that are out there? How do we actually make it so it's usable in the value stream of a business, not just a bolt-on productivity thing? Now, some of those bolt-on productivity things are pretty cool, from summarizing data. If you're using ChatGPT from generating ideas as an example, as a starting point on content and creative, I mean, there's lots of things that it can do. Can't replace the customization and the human element and the tailoring to your business yet. I always got to use the word yet. But no, and that's what we're endeavoring to do at TLC1 is build automations, customizations using AI, process automation, APIs, all these great things. So it's actually delivering a ton of value for businesses. So it's been a fun journey. We've done a bunch of, and order entry automation is just one of the things that we built an automation for so far. But there's a ton of fun things that we're building.
That's a big one, though. I mean, I work for distributors, and most of the business is obviously order entry, because the whole purpose of the distributor is to move boxes out of a building. Yeah. But when you look at the amount of human resource that we literally waste on it, and I hate to say the word waste, but it's waste, because if we could have these people on the phone selling more, talking to the customer, looking at orders, but not looking at orders to rush them into the queue, looking at orders, say, this doesn't make any sense. They never order 10. Hey, Phil, you ordered 10. Like, you sure you don't want 12? You don't want the full case? Oh my God, I didn't know. Or whatever. Like, I'm dead serious. Those happen all the time. Yep. And because your order entry, to Phil's point, that's what you're focused on, it doesn't get checked properly. Correct. It's just I got pushed all the way through. Then it's backlog the orders. I got to get through these orders. Push them through. I'm already behind. I can't take the 5 minutes, the 2 minutes, the 1 minute to stop and proofread this and check an order history to compare. And that's when the mistakes happen too, though. Now I'm distracted. Now I'm off. Yeah. I'm off, the number crunch or putting the data in. So now, then you're rushing through the next PO. It's just a mess. And it's nobody's fault. Most companies don't track how much time actually goes in. And Kenny, the right word is waste. Most companies don't track how much time goes into that form of waste. A lot of tracking would go into quality waste from from your widget or your product that you're producing. Okay, what's our first pass yield? What's our quality? Let's track those numbers. But when it goes into people time waste or resource waste, most companies don't track that. In my lean journey pass, I've tracked that through a program. There's ways to do it if you're rolling out a lean journey, but most companies don't do stuff like that. And it's surprising when you track the cost of a fully burdened invoice, when you track the time spent
phoning a client to go over the details again, the time in reproducing an order, the time in re-entering an order, the time in doing all of the rework in a business. It's a staggering number. It's an absolute staggering number. And there's so much capacity hidden in those numbers. It's a lot of the time and
that's just your side. You never quantified the fact that your customer's pissed because they wasted time trying to fix this shit up. That's not their problem, that it was yours. The next time they want to order, do they order from you now? That's great that you did all your customer service fixing up the mess, but I didn't ask for the mess. Do you know what I mean? From a customer standpoint, now they're thinking, so maybe, you know what, I don't order from Phil, I order from Mike because, that's great. I'm glad he fixed it, but he created the mess, so he should have fixed it. No, you don't get rewards for fixing the mess that you created. Like everybody forgets that part. You ultimately, how many people you impact.
Well,
like
and
it's
I think
huge.
I think the thing I like about this too is it takes the organization to a different attitude, if you will. Because like order entry is one of these things where people do it because they have to do it, right? Like I've met very few order takers who love order taking, right? They do it because they're good at it. They do it because they're efficient at it, because they're fast at it, and maybe they're dispassionate. So maybe they don't care that they're doing that. But I've met a handful of people that are like, I'm an order taker and that's what I want to do. Okay. So I'm not trying to, so there's somebody out there you can call and give me shit. I don't mean to disparage the job. It's just one of those jobs. But the guardrails that companies put around these jobs are not good guardrails. They're always about bad guardrails, right? Because it's like, are you processing enough orders? Are you checking enough line items? What is your error rate? What is your, do you know what I mean? Like, and there are things that don't make you, they make you more efficient companies, but they don't make you better companies, right? Because all of those things are about not carrot, they're about sticks, right? It's about like, you're not processing enough lines, get to it. Like, what's the matter? Like, are you having an off day or what's happening? And then it requires an employee to go, no, listen, like, it's wrong, because the customer put in the wrong thing. They put it, like, so now I got to go through the whole thing, even though we all know what the dance is, but it requires the company go through this, carrot and stick, right? So I like the process automation because it does change the complexion of what you do in the company as well. Because now it's not about like, how'd you screw it up? It's more like, what can you do to make, really the crux of the question is, how do you make the customer's experience better? They don't need to know that we do this automated. What they need to know is, I put in the order and it went quick this time. Like, I don't need to, I don't need to look up and go,
and limited errors or no errors.
Well, listen, it's Thursday. And if I didn't get it in today, this has happened in a lot of companies, right? Is if I get it in Friday, I know that in customer service, they only have 2 people in on Fridays because everybody else has a half day off. So if I don't get it in by Thursday, Friday's order probably won't get checked until Monday, which means it doesn't go out till Tuesday. Right. So now I'm behind. Right. So as a customer, I learn those things as well. This is not about that, right? This is now like, okay, the automated thing came through. I was looking at it, or you put it in Thursday, I got it Thursday. You got it Friday, I got it in Friday. It's going to go out Friday because now I can do that. But before I ship it, I just want to know, do you want 3 more things because this gets you a different shipping rate? 3 more things because I'm also looking at my inventory here. And because Mike, you and I have a relationship, I'm telling you now, you don't order those 3 cases by next week, they won't be around and you'll have to wait 7 days for more stock to come in. Those things are game changers, right? Like,
absolutely.
I think those are big things, right? Like,
and another big piece to it as well, internal customers, I guess is the way I would say it. It could be customer service team and order entry team, but in many examples that we've already heard from our end, and even from my own experience, entering that order isn't as simple typically as opening up one program and entering the order and you're done. In a lot of businesses, there's a spreadsheet you got to check, and there's an accounting thing that you got to check. Is this client up to date on their payments? I got to check with accounting. I then have to go potentially check with the schedule. I got to check inventory, and then I got to go into this program and get the right file numbers and cross-reference them to this email, because the email has these descriptions, but it doesn't have an item number. What is this actually, right? All of that, or a good percentage of that, can be automated. So, and it's not I bring that up because it's not necessarily a matter of just straight up automating the order, but how much of that burden of all of those steps and processes could be taken away from the person having to do it, and just having that AI engine going, yep, I've checked all these things, everything matches, there's no outstanding invoices, they're up to date, and it just does it because it's connected to everything. And how much does that improve? We were talking about culture earlier. How much does that improve the culture? Because there's now this massive stress of, I got an order and it's going to take me half an hour to enter this order because of all the steps that I have to go through to do it, rather than, hey, I got an order, I only have to check one thing now, and then it hit a submit button. Wow, like that's better. I can now devote some time to some more value added work. So beyond just the customer and the customer's feeling, the perception, it's also internally. How could that positively impact the internal team as well, and the culture, by not having to do all the tasks and screen jumping from program to program and all of the work that goes in on that end of the process.
Pretty slick.
Yeah, it's a fun journey. It's a cool tool. And I said to Garth, my director of software and automation, when he originally came up with the idea, I said, you can build that? And he's like, yeah, I've already started. I said, man, if that existed when I was in the manufacturing world, I would have bought that in a heartbeat. Like,
yeah, we would have been best friends, buddy.
Oh, that would have been amazing. So yeah, it's a fun tool. It's an absolutely fun tool.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm definitely dating myself, but I remember even when we were using Excel, and then, like in customer service, right? And you'd, like, back in the day, you'd have all these kind of crap systems that had data fields that you needed somewhere else, right? And so you wound up filling in an Excel file. Maybe we still have those, but but like, I remember building a macro or recording a macro.
Yes.
That was like, take me and this file and then this file, and then you like figured out how to loop it, and then you hit play, and the whole thing was just, and you're just like, it's fascinating to watch, and you're thinking, thank God I didn't have to do that manually, right?
Yes.
And like, it makes me think of those moments, right? Because you're just like, that didn't take a job away. It just meant my eyes, I didn't have to go out and buy new glasses, because I could actually go do something worth my time.
Yes.
Not, these
people don't actually enjoy repetitive, mundane tasks. Maybe that's just me.
Most of us don't.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't think there's many people that actually enjoy that type of work. So I mean, we're leveraging automation anywhere we can at TLC. We have a new AI automation tool going in to support our internal technicians just this month. We're launching it. So anywhere where we can support making a better day for our team as well, just taking out the repetitive, mundane, the tasks that we know they don't like to do. Okay, how do we automate that so that they can spend more time? And internally speaking at TLC, they like the meatier, more complex challenges, the IT challenges, because they're more fun to solve. How do we give them more time to do that stuff for our client, rather than, can you reset my password? Kenny just called me. He forgot his password again. I gotta reset his password. And it's common. It's a thing, and we'll always do that. But how can
it's also true? It happens.
How can we take the pain both internally for us, and then which also speeds it up for our clients to get the response faster? How can we do this faster, better for everybody? And automation it's come so far in recent years. Anything that I can do, anything that TLC can do to just shed the light that it's not this multi-million-dollar investment to bring automation into your business. It's literally going to be weeks or months ROI.
I think that's the part that sometimes need to be addressed more than anything, because I think there's the fear. As soon as you start talking that, it's that, the shadow where it goes up, $, $, and all that's all people, it's like when doctors tell you have the big C, it would shut down. It's the sort of same thing. It's that look of, this is going to cost me a fortune. not understanding that
but we should
just cost everything.
Talk about that, right? Because
you have to, because otherwise it's where people say, "Well, it's great. The three of you are all excited about that. What's this going to cost me?"
but like, you know, like if we stay with the dating, right? Because I've already dated myself, right? This is not an SAP exercise, right? Like you don't need, right? Like I don't need a room full of SMEs that need to check a process and then take 2 years to implement something that doesn't ever work, right? That you need an exception workaround for the next 5 years until SAP puts out a new module, right? Like, you know, not that that's happened to every big company out there.
That they're developing because of the errors they found in yours. Oh, I didn't know it did that. Well, we should fix that one. Sure.
Love it. No, and Phil, you bang on. It's not a massive, complex undertaking anymore. It's measured in a matter of weeks rather than, I mean, you implement an ERP and that could take years. SAP could take years to make sure it's fully baked into your business, and you've retrained and you've had to build new habits and new systems and everything with a brand new ERP. No, this is and the way we approach it, if you go on our website and all of our automations, it's ERP alternative, because you can do it process by process rather than trying to have to go the scary venture of replacing everything into a new program. No, just order entry, just automate that. And you don't even have to change your tools. You keep using all your tools, keep using your ERP, keep using your accounting program. We'll just make it all talk to each other and automate it so we can get more out of your tools, use them better, which is our approach with TLC1. ERP alternative. Sometimes, though, you will have to go to ERP, depending on the size of your business, complexities of your business. But for many businesses, ERP doesn't have to be the solution. This is a new alternative to explore.
I like it.
Yeah.
I do know for sure it stops a lot of people, a lot of companies from doing anything, because when you say ERP or SAP, because that's what most people think anyway, it's you get, it's not even a deer in the headlights. You just get the fear.
Yeah.
Like the deer looking at the shotgun, because people just don't, all they think is cost. And I've heard nothing but horror stories, and the whole world shut down. You know, and we can't find 1,000 trucks. That was the Loblaws days, right? When, you know, that's what happened, you know.
Where you got to go back because you tried to roll it out and something didn't work that you couldn't predict. And now you got to go back to the old way, but you've already invested so much time in this new way that you thought was, there's a ton. So it's another way you could approach process automation step by step. With something like TLC1 is it can delay a need and it can buy you more time to do the research, plan out, build out that transition, or when you actually need to journey to an ERP versus your tools are potentially still fine. They just aren't working together, because theoretically ERP is all of those tools in one platform with the belief that they're all going to work better, and now you can just work from one platform. But what if you just got everything you had and made it all talk to each other and automated all that, and then used AI for what it's great at, which is reading unstructured data to then trigger an automated process such as order entry. So
I like it.
Yeah, it's there's other solutions out there, so I don't want to have anybody believe that we're the only ones doing this, but
Mike
making it
just Mike. Just talk to Mike. Nobody else.
It's just me. You're right. It's only TLC Solutions. But our goal is to make it accessible, understandable, and to be able to just take the smoke and mirrors away from process automation and technology and the complexities of it. And it's good return. It's fast return. It delivers a ton of value, and it just lets you focus on the things that you're great at, which is potentially making a product, a food product, a beverage product, a widget, whatever it might be. Just get really good at that, and we'll take the pain and the inefficiencies and the waste out of all the other digital processes that you need, because every business in this day and age is run by digital processes. Even if it's just sending an email and receiving an email, that's a digital process.
Right.
So there's so much that can be automated when it's a digital process.
I think Jenny's right. You should probably talk to, whether it's Elisa or Candace, I'm not too sure who does the programs, but this would be something interesting, I think, for even like for BC Food and Bev, talking Aaron at CHFA, like it's just important stuff, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to use it. They don't have to use you, to your point. And there are other people, whatever. They're not going to want to, they'll like you and they'll trust you. But my point is that, this is just good shit to know.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
right?
it's accessibility. That's the key, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
You'll get most and you'll lose some, but that's okay. You're growing the whole segment. You're growing this business. You're growing the need. I mean, you're not going to lose.
Yeah,
it's very, it's kind of critical. Like, Kenny and I have spent this week talking to 24 mom
24,
and pop,
25.
or, kind of sub $2 million, $3 million businesses, right?
Sure.
And so we're talking about, I think with one or two exceptions, most of them were teams of 3 or less. And so if you kind of look at anyone who's, like if you're listening to this and you're kind of going, this is not us, like this is a lot of software, this is a lot of craziness, you kind of go, you're a team of 3. So if one of you is making, one of you is packing, and one of you should be selling but is checking orders now, you are behind, right? Like you're behind unnecessarily, right? Because now what you're trying to do is you're trying to sell enough stuff so you can earn enough money to hire someone to go check lines. Right? Like so that's the madness in all of this is you go, hang on a second. So if I bring these guys in and they can put something together for me in a couple of weeks that saves me from hiring a person to check lines, but maybe get someone to help me
hire a
sell
salesperson.
some more,
Yeah.
right? Or pack some more. All of a sudden, I'm ahead of the game. I'm not fighting the old classic paradigm, right? So
you're reading my mind. You're stealing a concept that I've talked about a lot with IT. To me, it's about every business at a moment in time has to make a decision, and I'll speak to it in IT at a certain moment. You're a 1, 2, 3 person operation. You're doing IT in some way, shape, or form, right? You're dealing with emails and programs, and you're installing stuff, and so IT is someone's doing it, or a few people are doing it. And that business gets to a point where those people or that person doing it off the side of their desk, somebody is faced with a decision. Am I going to continue to do this off the side of my desk? Or do I hire somebody so they're on the team? Or do I find somebody external to the business, third party, to do this for me? But every business at some point has to make that decision. And I'm not saying it's the same decision for everybody, that you should always just go to outsourced IT with TLC solutions. As much as I would love that, that's not always going to be the best case based on your current your business demands and your needs. However, you're still faced with that decision. So at that moment, it's just knowing that there's options out there. When I was dealing with IT off the side of my desk way back in the day, I didn't really know that there's this MSP world out there. I learned it and then brought that into the business. Right? So, but people need to understand, companies can understand that at that moment where you're doing that thing, are you better to outsource it? Are you better to automate it? And this is where the automation part comes in, rather than hiring the body. To Phil's point, because the work is growing, you now have an opportunity to add to that decision, or one of the options for the decision is, what if I automated this instead? Or what in my business from a digital process could I automate so it doesn't need a person to do it? And how fast will that let me scale my business as a result? Hey, wait a minute. If I am the owner and I don't have to enter orders anymore because I can just have automation do it, that frees me up to go get more sales, right? And I know at the end of the day, I'm going to have 6 orders, 10 orders, however many orders at the end of the day. And I just have 6 or 10 submit buttons to hit, because it's already got them all queued up and ready to enter, and it's checked into the system. Or maybe there's 1 that I have to check, or maybe 2 that I have to check, but I don't have to do all 10, right? What does that do for that small business? What does that do for scalability and growth? And that is the decision. That's the understanding that I hope to always present to business owners, business leaders, is in that moment where you think you got to hire the person, what could you outsource? What could you automate? And ultimately, if TLC can be a solution, I'd be ecstatic. That would be great. But just know that there's that option at that moment in time.
I'd even like it, because I think I challenge both of you. I think sometimes it may not even get to that. I think that's where people get frustrated and not give up, but becomes really burdensome because they just don't know what to do. And if they actually had somebody come in and take a look and say, just so you know, this step, and that step, you can automate that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did that, you've just kind of told me this is taking 7 hours a week. That's that's 1 body a day, right? You just freed up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to hire anybody now. What could have happened, that that sales issue you had and you can't get to those people, I just gave you a day. You do it.
Yeah.
You don't have to hire anybody.
Bingo.
You know, you'll get to the point you need to hire bodies. I understand that, but you may be freaked out right now. But we may have just freed up 7-8 hours just on the week for you.
Bingo. And
now you can go do it.
That's exactly it, right? And it doesn't have to be order entry automation. And these are the ways that I want people to always think about it. Is many companies is you have to type information into program 1, and then you have to type that same information into program 2. In my past company I worked for, I tracked it once. We had to, at minimum, type a customer name into various systems 5 times.
Yeah.
Like when you think about that, for every new customer, for every new product you get, and you have to retype the same thing over and over again, you don't have to in this day and age do that. You just don't.
But you know what? You don't know that. That's the thing is you're 3 people. And you know what? That's how it's always been done. And that will be the answer. And they don't know that there's another way. And sometimes all it is you don't have to have the idea. If you're kind of to that point where you're just that stressed, it may be worth an audit. Just have someone come in like you guys say, listen, you don't have to just, if you don't want to do anything, you don't want to spend a lot, there's 4 processes I can see right now. Those can be automated. Yeah. Those are taking you. Then I'll ask you, Michael, how long does it take you to do that? I spend 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours, 12 hours a week. We could do this in like minutes.
Which means really and we can calculate an ROI from that. And at least it could be, okay, I'm going to go from 3 to 4 people, not yet. And that's a fine answer too.
I'm going to go from 3 to 3 people, but I've just freed up some time. Okay.
Yeah. But you maybe, and from a business standpoint and planning for finances and investment and things like that, maybe you go, okay, it's not now because I need another body for this reason, but when I need that 5th body rather than the 4th body, before I hire that 5th body, because my sales will theoretically have grown by then, I'll have more cash, I'll have more operating income to be able to put to something like that. I'm going to do it before I hire that 5th person or that 10th person. And those are fine answers too, because every business needs to make their own decision financially when they could or should invest in something like that. But again, it goes back to that decision. Automation is much more business friendly as far as ROI and investment cost and return and savings than it's ever been.
I just think it's the fear. I really do. I mean, I know if you came into me, it'd be the fear of just, okay, one's going to cost me either a ton or you're like, I don't know what I really need to do. So you tell me, you walk through me and take, your notes or whatever and tell me what you think. Like where are the spots,
Yep.
You tell me where you think where I could save this time and effort and I could do other things.
Yeah. And
whatever that is.
We can do, if somebody wants to make it's not a large investment, but we have automation assessments. So we can have our product managers and our business analysts work with you and they can understand your processes, help map them with you. And out the other end, you're either going to get an automated process or you're going to get a roadmap to say, okay, here's some things that you could do. Here's the savings that they will generate. So that is an option that we give to all of our clients as well.
Very cool.
I have a friend who listens to this podcast, so I got to be careful how much I say, because if I give too many, and it's not Kenny, so I'll be really clear. It's not Kenny who I'm talking about.
I'm not buying in that either. It's probably me. I'm gonna have to listen. No. You're so full of shit. That's exactly me.
I'm not. So they work for Fortune 500.
That's definitely.
Yeah, so it's definitely not Kenny, but they work for Fortune 500, and I think probably once every 2 or 3 months, I get a phone call that says, listen, do you mind sitting in on this call? I'll patch you in. Could you please, because one of the things in their purview is like being in on, kind of large scale IT products, like projects and implementation. And this person said to me once over drinks was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like half the time there are all these people talking and I don't understand a single fucking thing. And I said, well, what is happening? Right. And he goes, look at his email. So he gives me he couldn't be giving me his smartphone from the workplace. And he's like, look at his email. And I was like, okay, well, they want to know this. And he's like, I need you to translate and I'm like, okay, well, just hang on a second, okay, because I'm not like, it's not it's not happening. I can sit in every now and then, but I feel like, I guess where I'm going with this is, if you feel that anxiety, like you need to find someone. Like for us, what you hear, like to translate this for small businesses, like we feel that with Mike, right? Like this is why we bring Mike back for
Exactly.
and Mike's not paying for us for this. This is us because we actually like Mike, and when we talk to him, we understand him and he understands us. So
Amen.
whether it's Mike or somebody else, if you feel that if you come out of this podcast and you feel anxiety, you need to find your Mike, right? Maybe your Mike is our Mike, right? That's okay, right? But it's but you need to find someone who can help you translate that stuff, because then you'll know really it's not that big a deal, but it could make a huge difference, right? It challenges your classic build of like, there's two of us, I need a third, and that needs to be an order entry person who can crunch 200 lines, no, it doesn't need to be that, right? Like think of something else that needs to be mundane, that needs to be done, but this is not the one, right? So anyway, I think if you're listening to this and you feel anxious coming out of it, don't be, because you need a mic. You need
or be anxious if you want, but phone Mike. And and realistically, he's probably going to calm you down. Again, use them, don't use them, take the information. You're big kids, figure it out. But at least get someone to help.
Sure that Mike isn't playing therapist for the next I don't know how long.
So happy to do that too. Happy to do that too. No, and I was that guy. It was a smaller company at the time, and I was doing IT off the side of my desk, and so I know that world. Like I've been there. I knew I had to do stuff, but I didn't really know best in class. I was getting stuff done to keep things going, but I wasn't doing things to future-proof. I wasn't doing things probably or even remotely as best as they could have been done, but things were running, right? It's okay, it's working, right? And sometimes that's a lot of what happens in the IT world. It's working. Okay, but your server's 7 years old and it hasn't been updated, and your cybersecurity is X, and it's like, you should know that there's these standards out there, and here's real world, right? So there's options, and that's something that we pride ourselves at TLC is we're not going to come in and say you have to do it this way, it's our way or the highway. We'll always work with you. We will make recommendations. We will come in and say, we can support this. However, you should know that these are some standards that you should be aware of, and these are the ones that we highly recommend, be it networking or backups or cybersecurity automation. But we will always work with the business where they're at, and then support them and work with them to get them as they can, when they can, to the best in class technology from an IT and an automation standpoint.
Love it. You do good things, sir.
Hey, likewise. Right back at you. Right back at you.
Love it, love it, love it.
Okay, go to the next topic. That's your next one.
I'm
and then book a time, and Phil will book in about say 8 months down the road.
No.
You know what? There'll be another cyber attack to talk about. There have been many. We didn't talk any of the recent ones. That's fine. Just Google recent cyber attack in your city, region, country, province, whatever. They're not going to stop. They keep happening. I'll shameless plug at the end. Just you can't prevent it, but you can build a good defense, and that's all any business can do. And I would encourage any business to do is build the best cyber hygiene, best defense you can. Right?
That's all you can do in life.
Yep.
You want to stop a cold, build your immunity. It's all of it. Shit happens. Like, you know what? At least mitigate it as best you can, right? Yep. Or minimize the impact.
There it is.
Like, seriously, I mean,
I
don't know why people got to go from zero to catastrophic. I mean. Yep. There is space in the middle there somewhere, right?
There is.
The end of the world.
Every time. Yep. Awesome. No, I will happily come back, guys. I thoroughly enjoy connecting with you guys, whether it's at a food event out here on the West Coast or here on the podcast. Love the chats. Happy to connect.
Anytime you want.
Well, we gotta have a lean conversation one of these times too. Lean, I got the
next one. Whatever you want.
For lean. If anyone ever wants to learn about lean and waste and value stream and all that great stuff, could talk for days on that stuff too. So
it's good topics though, because again, it's especially in small companies, it can mean the difference between black numbers and red numbers.
100%. 100%.
So
so like on lean and waste. It does trigger that thought, like maybe next time we talk a little bit about places people should be looking for waste.
Common areas of where red is going to happen.
So for a really good example, right, is some people have it, and I always thought that it was a lot of people have it, but really it's like some people have it and a lot don't have it. Is just like the easy. I'm not being derogatory. So it's easy once you get it hooked up, but things like scanning receipts and getting them reconciled with accounting software and getting accounting software plugged into things like Shopify, right? So that you've got kind of a seamless reconciliation system, at the end of every month, right? Like, because there's wastage there for sure, and then you're wasting time because you've got to get a bookkeeper to go in and do that stuff for you. You're also wasting time because, again, it's another one of these line item things when you should be looking for knowledge and not detail, right? Like
that was actually funny you say that. That was one of the automations that we built for one of our clients, is updating inventory on their Shopify account. So one person had to do it, log in every day and update it. But why don't we just automate that for you? You can do that? Well, yeah. And we did it, and mind blown, right? It's great stuff, powerful stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I think that's a sooner than later conversation, because it's, like these are things that help people be better, right? And they don't know it, or they don't have the time to go research it. So this is like it's actually a perfect scenario for money worthwhile, right? Is I don't have the time and I don't have the
radical, and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right. It's always fear. It's literally, and you've used me because it's that one. You just know that I'm going to open this up. I don't know what the hell's going to come out. I don't even know what I'm looking at. I don't know if I should be scared or not scared.
The other day, Kenny called me and said, "I broke the internet. Can you please fix it?" And I was like, "Oh, it's really lofty. Like, I don't think I
good for you
skills, but whatever it is, I can."
I shut down the ability for people in the East to order. I don't know how I did that. I don't even think I did. I think it's someone else did it. Even if I was the only one who went in, it's not the point. Someone else did it.
It was really, I joke, one of the times I visited our Terrace office, internet went down in all of Terrace. And then I went to visit our Edmonton office, and a similar thing happened in Edmonton. And I started to get what are you doing? When you go to these cities,
you're not welcome here.
Yeah. Wasn't me. It was not me.
Maybe you broke it. Yeah, I'm starting to think the same way.
I'm like, what the heck?
This bullshit coincidence. There's no coincidence. You breaking the internet, and then you make us fix it.
Something like that. Yeah.
I love it.
No, I like it. So I say, seriously, you know how to get into that booking bullshit thing? Just book a time.
Yeah.
If we have to move it, we move it, but book the time, because otherwise we'll talk about it forever. Just book it.
We'll save some time. We'll allow some more fun, cool TLC1 automations to be built that I can talk about and come back and relate it all the way.
Maybe one time when Phil's in town, we could even do it over drinks. We can do recording over.
That would be fun. Live podcast. Count me in.
That would be really great, actually.
Yeah, live podcast. We go for pizza on the drive or something. Have a couple beer.
You know what? Don't book anything.
This is me being game.
Yeah, so don't book anything yet, because I am there. We've got a pretty crazy schedule.
About 12 days this month. You're in town.
But I'm there a whole lot. So Kenny and I will come up with some days. We'll throw you some days.
You can do an evening, right?
And then we'll see what happens.
Let's go hang on the drive and go to Sopra or something. Just have a beer, have a pizza.
Done.
Yeah. Awesome.
I am already excited and looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
I love it.
Buddy.
All right,
guys.
Mike Nunn.
Okay, my friend.
Kenny,
take care.
Pleasure as always. Take it easy. Be cyber secure.
Trying our best, man. Trying our best.
Done.
We do it. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Cool.
I like him.
I like him a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too. He's always pretty. He's always good for. I don't know. I just like him.
I like it.
Okay.
I
don't know what the hell we fixed.
Let me move that. And then thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening, everybody.